What is up, Go World? It's me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another Go Format video. The dueling season is underway. This past weekend, the Patreon or the Premium World Championship Qualifier 26 took place. It was the first event that gave out an invitation to the GOAT Format World Championship taking place in October of 2023. So just coming off of this last Worlds event, I was very interested to see what the players would bring and what the metagame would be. So today, I will be doing the first Spikes report of the next dueling season, the 2023 season, even though we're still 2022. But this is technically the 2023 season. So let's do it. Without further ado, let's hop on in. I have the top 8 decks. These decks are all, as always, going to be on the website. So hop over to the goformat.com website, check it out for yourself. But I'm just going to give you my initial reaction, and we could just talk about it from my point of view, and I'll tell you what I think, and then you get in the comments and tell me what you think. As always, make sure you like and subscribe and get into the discussion. Okay, Patreon World Championship Qualifier number 26. In 8th place, we had consummate Patreon crusher Alvarado again, making his first top of the next dueling season, playing the Warrior strategy. Okay, so he's back on this turbo type warrior. Well, not necessarily turbo. There are no Jar Grease present. However, he is playing the Upstart Goblins with a very low monster count. Okay, with the triple dust shoot, triple dust tornado combination, that has proved to be quite effective. I believe Bobby Buck has used that in the World Championship, if I'm not mistaken. In this game, as we know, trap dust shoot is very strong. Dust Tornado is also pretty strong. You're going to get those 1-for-1, simplifying the game. You'll make it all back. If you can clear that back row and you can get in with all your attacking guys, you'll make your advantage back. So I think it's pretty clean, very smooth, dope operator, very good player. The low monster thing can kind of backfire, but it can also help you as well, because the last thing you want as on a warrior deck is to keep bricking on a lot of monsters. So he's trimming that thing down to only 13 in here. Very cool though, very cool. I like the deck. In the side deck, he's got the triple Berserker Gorilla, triple Wangu, one Cliff, okay, electing not to go for the whole Spy, Mobius, Brain Control package that a lot of Warrior players used last year. Instead, electing to just kind of out-aggro the aggro decks and have some battle traps to kind of supplement you there as well. And also, the Wangu and the Berserk Gorillas are pretty decent in the burn matchup as well to kind of just outpace those guys. A secondary Mystic Swordsman level 2 in the side is also quite interesting. The lack of mind control is also pretty good as well. So coming in with another Mystic for the turbo deck. You already got the triple dust. You already got, just having another Mystic Swordsman there is pretty cool. And the My Body as a shield, this card is pretty dope in the aggro decks as well. Love the deck. I think it's very tight. I like the player as well. Congratulations on your first time. I'm sure there will be many more to come in these Patreons. Very, very consistent Patreon player and consistent player all around. Okay, going on to number 7. Number 7, we have a player that I do not know. I have no knowledge of. Grumple Steelskin. Okay, coming in at 7th place. Okay, I don't know much about this player, but they're playing a pretty cool Chaos Control deck. Okay, Chaos Control with Decrees. This deck is kind of vintage. It's kind of classic, but it obviously did what it had to do to get to this 7th place finish of the Patreon World Championship Qualifier. This event had about 35 people in there, in this being one of the earlier events, and it was stacked. A lot of the names that you know in Go Format were participating in this event. 35 is pretty good, and getting 7th place out of 35 is not too shabby. Okay, so we got pretty much Chaos Control with the Mimic. The lunch boxes are in there, the level 1 and the level 3, which is pretty cool. You got the Kiko in there, main board, and the Spirit Reaper. Okay, so this is kind of vintage, kind of throwback a little bit with the main deck Lightning Vortex. I love to see that. And you got, you got the main deck Swords too. I think that's pretty cool. Electing to go with the Royal Decrees and the Mystical Space Typhoon. I think this is a pretty cool deck. I like it. I think it's a little vintage. I don't know about the lunchbox. That's never been my thing. I think I played it maybe a while ago, but I don't really like that too much. But to each their own. And obviously Grumple Steelskin used it well and got to this 7th place finish. Okay, in the side deck, you elected to go with 2 of the Kinetic Soldiers, a second Spirit, but triple Mind Control. Okay, triple Mind Control in the side is super cool. That's high risk, high reward. There was a ton of turbo in this event. So much Chaos Turbo. So having triple Mind Cons on your side could throw your opponent for a loop. They might think you might be playing only 1, maybe 2, but having 3 is just crazy. Keeping the Jowgen in there, keeping the Assura Priest in there, keeping the Hysteric Fairy in there, and 2 Karibos. So Grumple Steelskin was like, hey, I'm not losing it to Reasoning Gate. That's just absolutely not going to happen. So a Reasoning Gate or any kind of OTK, Stein, none of that kind of stuff is going down. So the side deck, I think, can probably be cleaned up a little bit, but it's still pretty dope, and it got Grumple to where they want it to be. So very cool. I'm excited to see these new players getting in here and making some noise. I want to see more new people coming in. That means you. So if you're interested in playing these events, make sure you reach out to me and we can make it happen for you if that's something that you're interested in. Congratulations again, Grumple Steelskin, for getting to 7th place. Okay, another new player that I really don't know a lot about. We got Jesse S coming in for 6th place, playing Chaos Turbo. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Chaos Turbo. This is a very, very standard deck. This is kind of what they're starting to look like right now in this metagame, coming off of Worlds. You're not seeing a lot of Solemn Judgments. You're not seeing a lot of Regeki Break. You're not seeing too much movement. You got double Book of Moon, which is good because good control is starting to kind of come back a little bit. It's got the 2 dust shoots in there. I think this is a very solid Chaos Turbo deck. Electing to go with the main deck Kaiku. I believe this deck is similar to what AJT took to Worlds, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look at it again, but this deck looks like a very solid Chaos Turbo deck. Not a lot to say about the main deck. This is it. If you're playing Chaos Turbo, this is what they look like. In the side deck, going triple Berserk Gorilla. I don't know how I feel about the Berserk Gorilla in the Turbo decks. Maybe if that's your thing, it clearly worked out for Jesse S, but I'm not feeling it because I think he's wrong. He's a wrong attribute, and he's not doing enough, man. He's coming out, he's attacking. Yes, he can clear up some stuff, but at the same time, this guy gets taken. This guy gets mind con. He's getting sent to defensive position. He's killing them. I don't know about the Berserk Gorillas. Maybe it works. If it works, it works. You do you, and I want to see it. Keep doing it if it's working out for you. But I don't know if I like that too much. Card D in the side is also an interesting card. Electing not to main it, which kind of makes sense because everyone is playing Turbo and everyone's got the same cards you have. If you're just card D in game 1 all the time, you're just going to be helping your opponent a lot of times. So I kind of can feel card D in the side deck as well. 2 Minecon, 2 Walk, Swords, Dust, and 2 Sakus. So again, this is a very solid Chaos Turbo deck. If you don't play Chaos Turbo, hop on there and net deck a deck like this, and you will have good results if that's your thing. Okay. Congratulations again, Jesse S. on the top. Hopefully I see you more as well. Again, number five, we have Ludovico Rizzo, aka Nice Boy, coming in from Italy with the 5th place. Again, just like we just saw with Jesse S's deck, this one looks very similar. We just go down, they're pretty much carbon copy, almost card for card. But electing to go with the triple deco instead of the Kiko, and 2 Faith, 2, again, very solid Chaos Turbo. Can't say much about it. It's pretty standard at this point. The side deck is also quite interesting. Electing to go with the 1 Wangu, the 1 Karibo, the 1 Kiko, the 1 Mobi. It's a lot of 1-ups because the deck is kind of just moving so quickly. It's not a lot of, you don't really not need to have a lot of duplicates of a lot of different cards because you'll just see it too often. Putting the Tsukiyomi in the side deck, the 1 Mind Control, the 1 Sword. This is again pretty solid, and he's a very solid player, very fundamental. You know, he has good techniques, and I watch him play a lot. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I'm not shocked or surprised to see that he's back into a top placing finish of this event. Probably much more to come. I do like the Regeki break in the side as well. I think that's interesting. Going against Burn, this card has a lot of utility, as we all know. But having it inside is also pretty cool. More discard traps and a Dust Tornado. Shout out to you, Mr. Ludovico Rizzo. And we'll see what you got coming up next. Okay, moving on to number 4. Number 4, we have another player that I don't really know much about. This scene is just blowing up. There's a lot of growth coming to our game. Again, shout out to all the new players. I can't say enough. But Patrick Zero has come in with this deck, and this deck is cool. Now, this is a cool deck. This is somebody, you can tell this is somebody who's bringing some new ideas, who's trying to do something different. I love what Patrick Zero is doing here. A lot of people may not like it too much, but I am absolutely infatuated with what Patrick Zero has put together in this deck. He's playing like a Dimension Fusion turbo deck. I think this card, and I've been singing the praises of Dimension Fusion for a long time now. I think this card is severely underplayed. It's a very good card, and Patrick Zero has kind of figured out a way to do that with Dimension Fusion, Lightning Vortex, got the Bazoo in there, it's got the D-Mock in there, it's got all the knockable items in there that can kind of get sent out of play. It's got the Giant Grenade, it's got the Lightning Vortex, kind of do a big sweep, clean all the back row, hit you with a big Dimension Fusion, Lightning Vortex, and then just kill you. And then if that doesn't work, just do all the normal Chaos stuff like Chaos can do. Very low trap count. I think this deck is pretty cool. I like what's going on. The triple Book of Moon is super duper interesting. I'm not sure what that call was with the triple Book of Moon. Maybe you can even go less less Book of Moon count, and maybe you can get maybe it's a Wing Blast or something there, or Regeki Break or something. Maybe the Book of Moons are for if you have to Dimension Fusion these guys back, you can book them or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm probably to ask Patrick what the deal is with all the Book of Moons. I don't know. I think people might just like playing cards that they like, and this deck is pretty cool. I like what Patrick Zero has done here. Okay, coming in with the Royal Decrees in the side, the two Wangus. Wangu is good with the Dimension Fusion sometimes, and another Giant Grenade, Brain Control, Mobius. Cool deck. I really like this deck a lot. I think this is something that can be there's some room to kind of make things happen with a deck like this. Very cool, Patrick. Shout out to you. Hopefully you continue to play in these events. I want to see what you got coming up next. Okay, coming in at third place, we have Pro Weight, aka the OG, Mr. Carl Weight, coming in back at the top tables. He was the first person to win one of these events last year and came in at third place in this year playing the Chaos Turbo strategy. Again, doing it his own way. He elected the main deck to Tsukiyomi, main deck to Kaiku, go with the two Dekos. Again, Chaos Turbo is what it's going to be. So I was actually kind of devastated with how much Chaos Turbo was present in this event. I thought that maybe it would have taken a step back based on the events of the Go Format World Championship. However, I was incorrect because there was so much Turbo in this event. I don't know how many people played Turbo, but there was quite a bit. And but Carl Wade is a dope player. He is a dope player. He's probably one of the people who put Chaos Turbo in this current form, on the map. Years ago, he played this deck, and he's continued to do that. He's been very consistent with this. Winning a lot. But main deck Sakuretsu Armor is interesting. He's elected to main deck the card destruction. A lot of people are kind of getting away from the card destruction main deck. Carl decided to say, you know what, I'm going to keep playing it. And, I think it's pretty cool, pretty clean deck. One Book of Moon, Tsukiyomi, 21 monsters, it is what it is. Okay, in the side deck, still going with the Berserker Gorilla. Got the Genzo in there. Just in case. Genzo Call of Hunted. I think that's kind of cool. And then going with the Regeki breaks in the side, too. I think that's really funny and interesting with the one walk. Okay, the one walk. That's kind of another trend I'm starting to notice. A lot of players are kind of pushing their walk count very low because burn is not being used as much as it was, or not a big of a threat. So people are starting to lean back on it, and then guess what? Burn could come right back at any moment. So having the one walk, I think that's cool. I think just keep two on you just in case. You never know, another trap does shoot in the side. So again, and he got the Wombat though. He's got the one walk, the one Wombat. I don't know if I like Wombat too much, even though it is a little 3-star. He can get under there and do some stuff. I'm not a fan of Wombat. I think Wombat Burn has solved this guy. Burn figured Wombat out. Burn is still working on the Mystic Walk situation. So I would get out of the Wombat and I would go back to the walk if I was doing it. But it is what it is. I don't play too much Turbo, but if I would, I'm walking it up. But again, cool deck, cool player. Love me some Pro Weight. Very, very, very dope. Okay, moving on to second place. Speaking of, we got somebody playing Burn. We got the Greek Machine. We got Mr. Katsos in the building, ruling expert and judge extraordinaire as well. Katsos playing Burn strategy. Okay, so he's like, I sense that there might be a weakness in the force. Everyone is going away from Regeki Break and into Wing Blast. They've kind of softened it up just enough for a Burn player to kind of get in there and make some noise. The Decree situation is down so bad, almost non-existent. A lot of players aren't playing Decree anymore. A lot of players are kind of reducing the walk counts, like I just said, and it kind of made a little room for a Burn player to get in there and make something happen. And Katsos just so happened to take advantage of that situation, playing a Burn deck. Okay, but he's electing to use the Big Shield Gardner and this little furry dude right here. I think the Dez Koala is a dope card in Burn. I think a lot of times, especially with Chaos Turbo, they're always going to have a lot of cards in their hand. Most of the time, Solemn Judgment is almost it's falling off so hard that a lot of players aren't setting things like they used to. They're preserving their hands, they're keeping stuff in their hand. This dude comes in and can just hit you for supreme damage, especially if you're playing the Book of Moon like Katsos is doing. You're playing the Desert Sunlight, you're playing the Ceasefire, you're playing all this stuff. I think this deck is solid, man. I think he's got something going on here, and he kind of analyzed the game and got in there at the right time. And he's got this burn situation, making it all the way to second place. And he's still got the Chain E in the side deck. The one Nobleman across that I think is hilarious. He's got the Spirit Reaper. I'm not feeling the Spirit Reaper, if I'm being completely honest. I think Spirit Reaper kind of goes against this guy, because you want them to have a hand, but then you're ripping cards out of their hand, taking away this card's effectiveness as well. So I don't know about that, but it worked out for Costos. Maybe in the Warrior match, you want to have a guy that can just kind of stick around or something like that to kind of slow it down. You can hit him with the Nightmare Wheels later on. But I think this deck is pretty cool. I'm glad to see that Burn is still being played. A lot of people might have given up playing the strategy because maybe they got peer pressure out of it because it's not a fun deck to play against. And it's not a fun deck necessarily to play. It's people kind of figured it out with all the side deck stuff that they're doing. But I'm glad to see that it's still around because it's going to keep everybody honest. You can't stop playing your walks. You can't stop, preparing for this deck or it'll just beat you, especially if you got a good player doing the playing. Okay, but again, this is a cool deck. I like what you got going on, Costos. I like Burn. I like what you got happening here. Keep it going. We'll see what's going on next. And then finally, there was the winner. This is the winner of the Premium World Championship Qualifier number 26. We have first place finish. Don't copy. Okay, you feel free to copy if you want to copy this deck. Don't mind, but I'm sure he won't mind. But this is don't copy. Fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh player. Can't say enough good about what Don't Copy has done in his career. He's won so much. He's topped so much. He's so consistent. Very technically sound player. I had the unfortunate event of crossing swords with Don't Copy round 1 of this very tournament, and we had a pretty good game. But I misplayed a few times, and he just took me right on out of there. Chaos Turbo is a very hard deck to beat, especially when the person playing it is very good at the game. So Don't Copy elects to go with 3 Dekoichis, 3 Gravekeeper Spy. Okay, just straight up flips, all the flips you can get, maxing out the flips to kind of get maximum value out of Night Assailant. I mean, that's how you're gonna do it. You got to sell out sometimes, and that's what Don't Copy elected to do. Okay, it's got the 2 Night Assailants, 2 Tone Dragon, again, very standard. But if you notice, the Don't Copy is still playing the Regeki breaks. Okay, I believe Don't Copy is Italian. Italian-based players are huge fans of the Regeki break over the Wing Blast most of the time, and he elected to keep that in there, and that probably paid dividends in this event in certain matchups. Like I know in the finals playing against Katsos in the Burn matchup, he probably had a much better advantage using these Regeki breaks instead of the Wing Blast and having access to double walk instead of just the single one and the one Mobius. So I think this deck is very well built, and the player that played it is a fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh player. I can't say enough about what Don't Copy has done and accomplished in this game. Electing the not main deck Mirror Force is hilarious. I mean, I think that's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know about that personally. I would not recommend that if you're not on this level of play like Don't Copy doing. Maybe he had some good buzz on the metagame going into this thing. There was not a lot of Warrior decks being played in this event. I think a deck like this, in my opinion, might be a little soft to Warriors game 1 because you have the Nox, you have the Dust Tornadoes, the Trap Dust Shoots. You don't have Mirror Force. You have a lot of flips. If Warriors would get on this, it might be difficult to win game 1. Game 2 is a whole different thing because you got all the shenanigans coming in game 2. But I mean, sometimes you got to be brave. You got to make the call, and you got to play the game. That's how it is. This is a dope deck, and again, dope player. But tell me what you guys think about these decks. Chaos Turbo is back in a major way. That's what I've taken away from this game, coming back from the World Championships. I think that Wing Blast is back in a major way. Chaos Turbo is back in a major way. Solemn Judgment is way down. What does that mean for the metagame? There are some soft spots in the game. I don't know exactly what that might mean. I don't know if an Empty Jar player can come in and do some damage. I don't know if an Last Turn player can come in and start doing some damage. I don't know if Go Control can come back. I don't know if Warriors can. It's a lot that can go based on what everyone is doing. So if you are smart enough to figure out how to defeat Chaos Turbo consistently, you can make some headway in this game. I think I just want to do a quick Spice report, the first one of the season. I enjoy doing Spice. Maybe I can get a co-host back on here. Maybe if we will come back and we can do it just like that. But again, tell me what you guys think about these decks. Tell me what you think about these events. Are you going to play? Are you going to participate? Let me know. As always, I'm JDZ. I play Ghost. Until the next time, shout out to the real ones. Salute to the OGs. Peace.
This program was made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.